Action Comics issue 1063 finds Superman returned to Metropolis, having circled the entire city and even the world, but found no sign of Bizarro anywhere. Bizarro Joker is surprised that Superman's mindscape has an entire replica of the Earth in it, but the hero knows that much like a cop covers their neighborhood beat, he covers one that is 197 million square miles, and he's always tried to know the best way around every inch of it, hence why his mind is a replica of Earth. Joker notes how there is seemingly no people in his mind Earth, wondering how that makes Superman feel. Superman walks the empty streets, finding it feels like he failed 8 billion people on Earth, something Joker is glad about since it means they're exactly where they need to be, and where Bizarro wants him to be, deep within his own fears. A storm begins to brew as Superman wonders if he's gone mad since he's listening to Bizarro Joker, but the being knows that his doubts growing is good, as it means they are getting close and they should be able to see Bizarro number 1 any second now. Clark soon spots the villain tearing his way through the city, his cries shattering the windows. Joker knows that this means his assault has begun, reminding Superman that if his mind fails, what remains of the real world will follow, but he believes with all his heart the Man of Steel can do this. Superman readies himself, but finds something is wrong as Bizarro appears smaller than usual. Joker thought this would happen since Bizarro was killed by his own magic spell, and a small piece of his psyche managed to embed itself in Superman's mind like shrapnel. Superman tries to attack the small Bizarro but proves too hard to hit, but Bizarro can still hit Superman though, smashing him into the ground as Joker tells him that while he's small of stature, Bizarro is still unimaginably strong. Superman hits the ground and suddenly plunges into water, finding Bizarro punched him all the way through the planet and now he's off the coast of Australia. Clark knows that he won't be able to fight back against this level of power in his mind, asking Joker how he stops the villain without killing what's left of Bizarro's mind. Joker tells Superman that they both know the answer to this, suggesting the hero focus on the next phase of their plan. Superman wants Joker to remind him what that is as Bizarro hits him again, causing Superman to remember. Superman wakens briefly in Arkham, telling Joker that Bizarro gets bigger with every punch, and Joker knows that it's related to Superman's mental defenses, and the weaker they are, the stronger Bizarro gets, and he will try and exert control over the hero's mind, and then move on to the physical body. Joker hears more Bizarros coming for them from outside, realizing they know the hero is up to something, and there is no stopping it now. Not without lobotomizing Superman. Superman screams in pain as Joker tells him not to worry, since while the world is on the verge of complete mental ruin, at least he has the Joker looking out for him. In Superman's mind, the hero is battered into the Sydney Opera House. He tries to use his Kryptonian meditation techniques coupled with Bizarro Joker being his guide to keep Bizarro at bay, but Clark feels every punch at the center of his brain. Joker knows that Superman could scream for 1,000 years and it wouldn't adequately convey the pain he feels. But the hero doesn't do that. Instead, he girds himself, clears his throat, and carries on with the battle. The hero is smashed back down into Australia, causing it to fall into the ocean. In the real world, Joker loads Superman into an ice cream van and escapes the asylum and Gotham, with the Bizarros following after them. He assures Superman that everything is fine and under control, but then apologizes, since that was a lie. However, the good news is, Superman is almost home. The truck races down the highway towards Metropolis, as Joker figured that Superman would want to be in Metropolis when things get worse. Superman continues to battle Bizarro, who is now monstrously giant. The hero tries to reason with him, telling Bizarro that they are connected in a way that he doesn't think any of them truly understand, but he won't give up or stop fighting the villain no matter what Bizarro does to him. Bizarro stays quiet, frustrating Superman since he's been running his mouth non-stop in his head since the spell was cast, but now he's all quiet. He demands the villain say something, so Bizarro tells him hello, entering his mind again and smashing the hero down. Joker tends to Superman, hoping he can hurry up with this since their truck has now been surrounded by hundreds of Bizarros. Superman suddenly smashes out of the top of the truck, but it's not Superman as Bizarro has taken over his body again, telling Joker that Superman is there and he claims the mind in the name of Bizarro. Superman manages to get control again, punching himself in the face over and over as Joker comments how this is a lot, even for him. In his mindscape, Superman keeps on fighting Bizarro, taking the battle into space. Bizarro manages to transform Superman's mind Earth into Hetre, the Bizarro Earth. Bizarro, who is now inhabiting Superman, tells him that he has always been seen as the stupid, imperfect imitation of Superman, but now it's time for Bizarro to live and for Superman to die. He plunges Superman's hand into his own chest, as in the real world, Superman falls onto the top of the Daily Planet. Joker knows that Bizarro did it and finally killed Superman, apologizing to the hero and wishing he could tell him not to die. That's exactly what he has to do, but his sacrifice won't go unseen. And while this probably isn't the ideal team-up Superman surely wanted, Joker will be with him now in his final moments. In his mind, Superman dies over and over again at the hands of Bizarro, who kills him a total of 89 times. He keeps on fighting, managing to take back control of his body as he bursts through a giant Bizarro's chest, demanding the villain get out of his head. The villain's control still stands and takes Superman towards the sun in his mind, blasting it with his heat vision and blowing it up, killing Superman again. As the universe falls into darkness, Superman is killed 13 more times, when finally every last piece of the hero is gone and Bizarro is the only one left. Bizarro finally takes over Superman's body fully, but the Joker confronts him, telling him not to expect the rest of the world to change in order to fix what's broken with him, since it never works that way. Bizarro grabs Joker, calling him his most hated Bizarro. Joker knows that killing him won't stop the hurt that the villain feels deep down. However, listening might help. The Joker engages in a battle of words with Bizarro, fighting with nothing but a grin and his voice as he speaks his hopes and fears, things he's never described to any living soul. Bizarro begins to tremble as the being tells him truths so stark and pure. Bizarro is overcome by the words, telling him to stop talking, but the Joker reveals he's never actually talking to Bizarro. He was talking to Superman, who deep in his dark mind awakens. Bizarro screams that he destroyed Superman as the hero takes back his body, telling the villain that he broke himself and became his own worst enemy. But he isn't Bizarro, he's the opposite. Superman frees himself from the darkness, telling Joker that when Bizarro took control of his mind, he also had access to Bizarro's own mind, and he can see the mystical threads the villain pulled on to cast his spell. He can also see how to untangle them. The Bizarros begin to storm the Daily Planet to stop Superman as Joker reminds him that his body isn't equipped to stop magic, since he's weak to it. The hero doesn't care, knowing that his flesh will hold together long enough to reverse the spell and put everything back to normal. The hero makes it known though that all threads have to be undone, meaning the Joker will be reverted to his villainous ways. Joker is okay with that, having always known that that would happen. As Lois and Jimmy kick in the rooftop door, Superman thanks Joker for being there, and the being tells him it has been an honor to serve as Superman's pal. Superman breaks the spell and the Joker returns to his villainous ways, and a few days later, Metropolis and the world return to normal, with the city rebuilding and the buses beginning to run on time again. No one across the world has any memory of what happened except for Superman, who remembers every moment of it and every screaming Bizarro face that shrieked with hatred for him. Here's Lois tell him that she wants to marry him again and again, as the hero knows that the Joker managed to slip away from the city unnoticed while he was casting the spell, hiding away like he was before. Clark also finds no sign of Bizarro number 1 either, or evidence that he actually survived the spell, except for a whisper he hears in the back of his mind when things get quiet, a whisper that tells him to be Bizarro. Superman, however, doesn't listen to the voice, since he doesn't have time to be Bizarro, since he's too busy being Superman.